I have introduced a video of driving a car with a fuel cell stack made by Horizon. This time I will compare it with a Chinese fuel cell stack. This stack is a component of the Horizon fuel cell car kit, and this stack is purchased on Aliexpress from China. Since I don't know the exact manufacturer, I'll call this a Chinese stack. There are many fuel cell stacks on Aliexpress, and I purchased this product from the link below. There is no apparent difference in appearance, but the size of the surface area is important for fuel cell stacks, so that I will measure the size of the two stacks. The Horizon stack measures 24 mm in width and height, and the Chinese stacks are 25 mm. The size of the two stacks is almost the same. The shape of the Horizon stack is more convex on the contact surface of the cathode and anode plates, so that it can make good contact with water and hydrogen. When I received the Chinese stack, I was very confused to see the stack, cable, and whole cover without a manual in the packaging. In contrast, Horizon stack has a detailed English manual, so I could easily find out how to use it. If you look closely, the Horizon stack has 4 holes. But the Chinese stack only has 3. Also, the Horizon stack was labeled H2 and O2 on both sides. So I could easily know which side was hydrogen and which was oxygen. And the electrical connection terminals for hydrogen are marked in black, and the electrical connection terminals for oxygen are marked in red. It is easy to see that hydrogen is negative polarity and oxygen is positive polarity. Compared to this, I can't get the exact direction of the Chinese stack. However, if you look closely, there is a small sticker on the side. The 2-hole side of the Chinese stack is hydrogen and the 1-hole side is oxygen. Hydrogen is negative polarity because it gives electrons, and oxygen polarity is positive because it accepts electrons. It would be best if this product had a manual, and it would be nice if it were marked larger. If you like to buy this product, please remember that the side with 2 holes is hydrogen and minus polarity, and the side with 1 hole is oxygen and plus polarity. The difference in the number of holes is due to a slight difference in how the fuel cell stack operates. The Horizon stack receives hydrogen and oxygen from each tank and produces electricity and water, and Chinese stacks receive hydrogen from a tank but oxygen from the air. So the Chinese stack has a hole to connect the hydrogen tank but no hole to connect the oxygen. It works the same when electrolyzing water. The Horizon stack electrolyzes water to produce hydrogen and oxygen, which pass through each hole into the tank. The Chinese stack electrolyzes the water, sending the hydrogen through the hole to the tank, but blowing the oxygen into the air. In this video, I will compare the ability to electrolyze water. And both stacks feed water through the lower hole on the oxygen side. The Horizon stack is not leaking water, but the Chinese stack is leaking from the oxygen side. There is no problem with the operation, so you don't have to worry. Let's compare how much hydrogen each stack can make in 3 minutes. I'll use the battery pack with 2 1.5-volt AA-sized batteries from the Horizon car kit to use the same electrical energy. I will use the hydrogen tank that comes with the Horizon car kit. To connect the 2 stacks to the hydrogen tank, I will use Horizon tubes for the Horizon stack and Chinese tubes for the Chinese stack. The Chinese tube is a little bit bigger than the hydrogen tank inlet, but fortunately it fits well with the tank. I'll explain the principle of the hydrogen tank and I'll experiment immediately. The hydrogen tank consists of a small dome-shaped tank inside and a cylindrical tank outside. Fit the inner and outer tanks and fill the outside of the inner tank with water. I fill the space between the inner and outer tanks and the inside of the inner tank. Hydrogen produced in the fuel cell stack enters the inner tank through a tube. The level of water in the inner tank is lowered by the volume of the hydrogen entering the tank, and the level of the outer tank is raised by the same volume. Because the shape and size of the inner and outer tanks differ, the height of the water going down inside and the water going up outside is different. If you connect the fuel cell stack and the tube and put the water in, the air in the inner tank cannot escape, so even if water is put outside, the water does not enter the inside of the inner tank well. Looking closely, you can see that the water level is doubled. The high water level is the water that has entered the outside of the inner tank, and the low level is the water that has entered the inner tank. So you should connect the tube after filling the water without connecting the tube. I'll test making hydrogen with a Chinese stack first. I fill the water close to 0 on the scale before starting. I turn on the stopwatch and battery pack and wait 3 minutes. After 1 minute, the height of the inner water has gone down by 10 cc and the outer water has risen by 6 cc. After about 2 minutes, the water level inside is about 18 and the outside is 9. At the end of 3 minutes, the inside water level is about 26 and the outside is 12. During the 1 minute, the space where the water rises outside is not cylindrical because of the inner tank, but after 1 minute, the room where the water rises outside is cylindrical. From 1 minute to 2 minutes, the outer scale rose from 6 to 9, and from 2 minutes to 3 minutes, the scale rose from 9 to 12. Ignoring the tube volume, I know 3 of hydrogen is produced in 1 minute. In the same way, let's test making hydrogen with the Horizon fuel cell stack. Before starting, fill the water close to 0, turn on the stopwatch and battery pack and wait. I can see the height of the water in the hydrogen tank has gone down by 11 due to the hydrogen produced after 1 minute, and the water outside has risen by about 6. After about 2 minutes, the inner scale is about 20 and the outer scale is 10. At the end of 3 minutes, the inner scale is approximately 28 and the outer scale is 14. From 1 minute to 2 minutes, the outer scale rose from 6 to 10. And from 2 minutes to 3 minutes, the scale rose from 10 to 14. Ignoring the tube volume, I know that 4 of hydrogen is produced in 1 minute. Through experimentation, I found out the Horizon fuel cell stack produces more hydrogen than the Chinese stack. When I tested the Chinese stack, I used the hydrogen tank from the Horizon kit, so I think a little hydrogen could leak between the tube and the tank. However, in that case, hydrogen bubbles should have risen between the hydrogen tank and the tube after 1 minute has elapsed. It can be seen that there is no linkage of hydrogen between the tube and the tank. Although similar, Horizon's fuel cell stack performed better than the Chinese stack. Next, we'll use multiple LEDs to test which stack can light up longer. Thank you so much for watching. This is Audrey Choi.